send them content that makes sense. We have another client that's in the travel space where the content we delivered for them based on the end screen of a successful was the product that most aligned with what they wanted. So we asked, which type of event are you interested in? They said tennis. Here's the information for tennis. If they said golf, here's the information for golf. Like, we have, based off of what you told us, we are giving you the most relevant information. That's the truth. Relevancy matters. Providing the algorithm that you're giving money to is quintessential.
Hello and welcome to the Perpetual Traffic Podcast. This is the show where we share knowledge. Lauren Petrullo, just knowledge about marketing, sales, how to grow your business, business metrics, marketing tactics. And before we get into today's show, which we're actually going to talk about nothing having to do with paid media, you won. And this was something that Qasim, your predecessor, crowed about all the time. You won the Wicked Smart at, which one was it? I forget which mastermind Ryan Dice is selling these days. Like, there's so many of them.
This was Founders Board.
Founders Board event. All right. So if you're on our YouTube channel, which is perpetualtraffic.com/YouTube, you can actually see the actual awards. Let's see. Ta-da. Look at that. Actually, it looks like a bottle of tequila, like a bottle of Petrullo. That's what it looks like.
Well, I will. Someone, I won't say who, was like, "Please know this is not a butt plug."
Well, it's got like the light pretty. Bulb. It's very pretty.
Yeah,
it's very pretty.
Wicked Smart winner 2024.
Yeah. So you beat out like Joe Simons. Did Joe Simons do we're giving him a shout out on Perpetual Traffic just because I love.
We should also shout out Barry because he's a huge listener of this show.
Barry. No kidding. Oh, he's in Founders Board. Oh my God, I haven't seen him.
No, he's with Joe's team.
Oh, Joe's team. Okay. Yeah. Love those guys. So anyways, Joe Simons brand is, we'll give Joe a plug. Salt Strong. That's right. I was about to say strong salt. All right, Joe, don't kill me for getting your name wrong. But anyway, so Lauren saved us on that. All right, so he used to win Wicked Smart at War Room like every single time. Yeah, him and like one or two other guys, but he's just sort of this unassuming, super smart marketer. It always pissed me off how smart he was and how young he was and handsome, and he just like fishes for a living. But really, he's working his ass off. So, what was your Wicked Smart, and what was it? Let's give us the goods here, because obviously our Telegram group is telling us they just want more tactics, which is fine, but sometimes what you want isn't actually what you need. So we are going to get back to our MPIs and our marketing performance indicators, which you can get over at perpetualtraffic.com/MPI. We just updated the actual download itself, which is the 15 most important performance indicators that we feel that drive businesses forward. So grab that over at perpetualtraffic.com/MPI. There's the plug for that. Let's get into your Wicked Smart. How did you wow the crowd and win the trophy, Lauren E. Petrullo?
Well, I would say that there are like three things that helped lead to my victory. One was an insane amount of profanity.
Good. So
I was incredibly vulgar. Yeah. And if it was a drinking game, you would have been wasted.
That's awesome.
Because like my like unique perspective and like a hard thing I live on is that I think leads are in general horseshit. So
leads are horseshit.
Disclaimer. Leads are horseshit. Like I will die on that hill.
You and I both.
Secondly, I absolutely allowed people to know that if they voted for me, I would implement this 10-minute tactic in their ecosystem for them, because it takes 4 or 5 minutes max to do.
So bribery was involved.
Look, you didn't cheat. You didn't try. Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. You got to beat these guys out. Like, there's some smart dudes in these groups.
There's over 100 people in that room.
Oh yeah.
And there was like the former CEO of Kajabi. Like this was a room to be in. And let's be real.
You had to pull out
while
all the
there
stops.
were women in the room, There weren't as many. And for the Wicked Smart finalists, I like have to give credit to Sarah because her and I were two women up there. And I think that was the first time there was ever two
Who was that
women.
again?
Sarah Nay
Sarah Nay. I
with
don't
Duct
know.
Tape Marketing.
Oh, yeah. We actually interviewed the author of that book. I'll have to go back and find links in that we've
He was
interviewed
there.
so
He
many.
was there with her. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you've got like all kinds of smart people in the room. So if you're not familiar with how a mastermind works, we've been parts of masterminds for years and years.
Yeah.
They usually are like $25,000 to $30,000. How much is it for Founders Board? Is it even more?
It's definitely more.
Is it like $100K now?
So they have
But
like a whole suite of different ones. Like there's
yeah,
Epic, there's Founders Board, there's a lot of them.
yeah, yeah. So
So
they have all kinds of different levels, and so when you
the
go in,
cost
it
of
was
admission.
the cost of admission. So you're
Yeah.
getting, if you have never been into a mastermind, like I've been in multiple masterminds for years and years, and it's
Mhm.
it's investments in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now they've just gone so up level right now, and Founders Board is one of those ones that you're getting a 100K, 5 figure, 6 figure sort of insights here. So just that unto itself as a free resource for Perpetual Traffic, because all you have to do is just click the button and download it on Apple iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's the kind of stuff that you get here. So lay it on us. What was the big revelation? Leads
So the
leads suck.
actual thing, that was the
Yep.
third part, right? Profanity, bribery, and then the actual tactic, which like how much I love lead generation with Meta. I think like it's one of the strongest platforms for people to generate quality leads at scale
Mm-hmm.
in a very cost effective way.
Yep.
And it's using instant lead forms like, you know, my favorite campaign type. A lot of people, if you're listening to this and you're still not doing this, like, okay, fine. Like, just don't tell me because I'll be personally offended with how much I like it. But what I was explaining as like in this Wicked Smart idea is conveniently I was last, right? So I was the only thing blocking people to the open bar.
Right.
Hence why the profanity was like, yes, get her off stage as soon as we can so we can start drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Kidding, kind of.
Good.
Everyone had been talking about how to resurrect dead leads, how to engage people in your system that were dead weight. And I was like, conveniently, I'm talking about how not to let that float into your ecosystem to begin with. So within instant forms, you can use conditional logic, which means you can ask someone a question that allows them to self filter into your ideal avatar. And while self filtering, if they choose a selection that doesn't make sense, you can actually stop the conversation. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, and send them to an end screen that is for non qualified leads. And what this actually does by having an end screen for non qualified leads, you don't get their lead contact information. And most importantly, Meta then gets an immediate understanding of who is bad. Most people, and we audit hundreds of accounts a year, most people suck at lead generation because they are trash at providing follow-up data on quality. Meta has an algorithm. You want a lead, they see lead good, not a lead bad. But we believe, we all know to be true, that all leads aren't created equal. So in and of itself, just a lead is horseshit because you don't want just a lead. That's probably just a subscriber. You want a marketing qualified lead, or more importantly, a sales qualified lead, or even a person that shows up to a book call. So this one aspect of instant forms, having an end screen where you make a conditional question, where if one of their answers is like so clearly not a qualified candidate for you, you don't even let them into your ecosystem. So you don't have to wait for a sales team to update them on a pipeline. You don't have to wait for someone on your team to maybe update a custom field in your status that then uses conversion API or CRM pixel to feed that data back into Meta. Like there's such a gap of the data from your actual sales funnel to Meta, that most of the time when people are like, Facebook's not working, I'm like, you're not working for Facebook to work. You're expecting everything to be magic, but you're not telling me Meta quality. And when you're using instant form, a conditional question with an end screen that is for non-qualified leads, you're allowing mediocrity to poison your CRM. And the thing that like at scale is a real, like we work with brands that are spending well over $1 million a month in Meta. And when you're spending that type of ad spend, it compounds mediocrity to an abysmal place, because if you're getting more and more of all leads are good because your only objective is lead, you're going to get volume of people that are not good, that are horseshit, dumpster fire. Let me just light up all this money to go anywhere else but my bank account. You're allowing that to continue. And if they're going for volume, not quality, you have to be super dependent on your sales team to do it. So my Wicked Smart was like, stop waiting for your sales team or your marketing team to not do the work anyways. Tell Meta instantaneously who you don't want. Ask up to 13 questions and hyper filter your leads into your CRM. And I used a word that, like, I was like, you want a bouncer, but I essentially said you want to I'm trying to think of another way to like dock block bad leads from getting into your ecosystem out the gate. So I use a lot of profanity because I so firmly believe this, and it takes 5 minutes to do. So if you are listening to this and you're using instant forms and you're not using the conditional answer being end lead form, why? And if you're not doing conditional questions to kick people out of your ecosystem, why are you letting garbage in that you know isn't going to convert? With the end screen, you can say whatever you want to them and you can introduce them to your blog or to resources when you know they're not qualified or ready for you yet. If you know, like for us, we work with brands that are doing at least $2.5 to $3 million a year in sales. So if you're not there yet, here are some resources, or here are some joint ventures of brands that can help you get ready to partner with Mongoose Media. So while they could be amazing, I don't want them in our CRM. I don't want effort wasted on them when they're not ready, but I'll provide them with resources to help them find what they're looking for.
I'm hoping everyone understands that. I'm going to summarize that for you. So
Yes,
you
please.
can do this in a number of different ways. You can do it through instant forms, right? You can do it on your website,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
But the most important thing is stratifying out your leads, because you are going to, when you put an offer out into the ether, into the world, you are going to get people who you never want to work with. So figure out who they are. Like that's like your first step. Figure out who you ideally want to work with, right? That's
Yes.
called your ICP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you sort of have different gradients of that. So there's
Yep.
this person, this is our person. But then there's probably a second person who's like, they could be our person, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's maybe a third person. It's like, yeah, borderline, but we should probably check it out. And then maybe there's a fourth person's like, no way.
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose. So it's like, take a step back. If you're doing leads, this is why we say lead gen or just leads just suck, really.
Yes.
Because unless you do it right, you're wasting your time. And this is for everybody, every business. I don't care who
Mm-hmm.
you are. It's like you're selling digital products, you're selling service businesses, you're selling, or a service, you're selling e-com. If you're doing opt-ins, you're doing lead generation for e-com, which is
Yeah.
not a lot of e-com businesses even do that. So, but there are ideal buyers, like your perfect customer. Start with that and then go down into the gradient, because you're going to get all 4 or 5. Depends on what it is. Maybe it's 3. For us, we know it's probably about 4 as a service-based business.
Yeah.
We do this sort of in a different way in a lot of different businesses that we work with, like in the personal injury niche, for example. There are certain personal injury cases for some of our clients that they just do not want. Like, could
Yeah.
they make some money off them? No. And so we purposely create stages so that we can then optimize through the Facebook pixel and the Google pixel as well. Let's not forget about Google,
Yeah.
to send back the right data to find your perfect audience. And if you are attracting leads, like, and then they go to a sales team, if you're not stratifying out your leads based upon this quality, you're
Yeah.
wasting your salespeople's time. You're probably spending too much on, a sales software.
It just increases your depreciating your open rates and your engagement rates for people that were never going to buy from you to begin with because of XYZ. Like, I think of the personal law firm, like there's the ambulance chasers, then you've got like workers comp.
Right.
Like, there's so many different variations
Yep.
inside of that.
It's
And if
exactly
that's
what
not
I'm
a
talking about.
space you want to be in, like,
Slip and
then
fall.
yeah. Like, there's a gentleman there, like they have a bar, and I was like, great. They're like, wait, how are we going to use lead gen for a bar? I was like, don't you have events? Don't you want to find people to come during your off days? Like, who are the champions of their peer groups? Like, what are the corporate people? Like, you're coming into holiday season soon. Like, there's an opportunity for anyone to generate leads, but you want to generate the quality of leads. A quality lead for a restaurant or bar is someone who is organizing the holiday party. That holiday party is going to do a nice buyout. So generating those leads, making sure that you can coordinate with them and within their budget and the time frame that they want to do a holiday party, because we're coming back to these hybrid in-person working environments, is a really good place to start, because those are high value leads, versus if you just want someone who goes to the bar. That's like, it's a different way to go after it. So yeah, anyways, that's what it was. You can totally do this for sure with landing pages. The thing that I would do is, if you have a landing page, create a different thank you page for who is not your ideal lead, and then you just, again, provide them with next steps. Like, don't be a butthead, deliver them valuable resources to where they are in their journey, but don't put the pixel on them. You don't want to optimize for more of it. Where I'm saying with instant lead form specifically as the mechanism, that takes 4 to 5 minutes. You don't have to build the conditional logic. You don't have to build the landing page. Make sure it's mobile optimized. You don't have to build the various thank you pages that tell you who is quality and who's not, because you can build custom conversions. It takes 4 to 5 minutes to do it within the Meta ecosystem. And then you can absolutely graduate to a higher level where you're delivering more value, because the Meta forum, it takes 4 to 5 minutes to create, and it's also maximum of like 4 to 5 minutes to engage with as the user, but really it's like 30 seconds.
Yeah. So in those free consultations, how many free consultations did you have to do because of this?
Like, I thought it was going to be a lot more. I was like, I'm ready. I was like, guys, there's 2 hours. I'm going to sit in the back of this room. Like, hit me up. There were like 3 people that text me, and I was like, absolutely. Like, I 100% mean, I was like, I will just do it for you, because a lot of people stumble with the conditional questions, because it's like, you ask, what kind of hospitality brand are you? Do you have timeshare? Are you single family owned? Do you rent on Vrbo and Airbnb? Like, having those questions, and then, like you said, the stratifying, go to question 2, go to question 12, go to question 4. Based off of those answers, people can get like tech overwhelm, like it's overstimulating, because they're like, oh, there are so many different buttons. So I was like, it takes 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So several text me, and I was like, absolutely happy to do it. We'll do it Friday, Monday, or whenever. And then there were like 3 or 4 people that we continued the conversation with. And so I was like, I'm ready. I won. I expect a lot of you to like call me out on it. But it was interesting, because a lot of the people in the room were like, we're not ready for that. Or like, let's be real, they're not the media buyers, they're the founders. So it was like, I've coordinated this with the team. I'll be in touch to see if we're already doing it. I was like, I
Got it.
promise you're not.
You are on Founders Board, so, which I think is a better place. Well, you're probably not going to get the people that say, all right, let me go on my website right now Well, it might
Yeah,
be a founder who does it all. There are those founders, but sometimes like a founder who's doing it all probably can't afford the fee for that mastermind, is my guess. So,
maybe.
having
Yeah.
said that, you're going to end up working with their team on this.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I said, here's my email. Absolutely. We'll connect when you're back in the office, when I'm back in the office, because I'm in San Diego today. Um, but yeah, they were really again, the biggest idea that most of them, or most people in general, because we audit all these and they're not doing it. How do you tell the algorithms who you don't want? And if you're relying on a person to update following a process, there's a time lag, which when you're spending over $20,000 a day harms you because you're compounding like the delta between that instant information and that delay of information gives optimization for worse performance.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you have a way to tell your algorithms, whether it's Google or Facebook or TikTok, anywhere, who is a bad lead? And if that way is dependent on a person following a process, well, we know that people have seasons of productivity. So eliminate that delay, eliminate that frustration, eliminate the like, I think they did it to I they didn't have to do it. And an easy way of doing that is through instant forms, takes 4 minutes, or in a better way is through a better landing page experience, continuation of the customer value
Mm-hmm.
that you're delivering, because you can put a lot more information on an actual landing page than you can for an instant form. But that just takes more time
It
or
takes more time.
resources.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the landing page, let's just talk about that. Like,
Mm.
let's just say it's 3 separate avatars, one of which is junk. The other
Okay.
2, good leads.
Trash, dumpster fire,
Dumpster fire.
BS, get
Okay,
out of
give me an
my.
example. Like I know that you've got a beauty brand. Do you do this for your beauty brand? You do, right?
We did a test of like generating leads. We didn't do the conditional questions because the conditional questions hadn't evolved when
Mm-hmm.
we were doing like that 15%. We were just like, we want everybody. But I can give an example for a friend, Amy. She works with actors and helps them with auditions. But someone who is like not a quality lead for her is someone who is not actively auditioning, someone who is not like a someone who's not doing like commercial and film acting. If someone's a voice actor, that's not what she helps with auditions for. Like she's been a casting director on a team for Game of Thrones. She's done parents, like that's what her background is. So if you're a voice actor, or if you are not a current working actor, like you've never taken even an acting class before, that's not someone that is going to buy and invest in her acting program, like her audition training, because they're not there yet.
Okay. Makes sense. And so on that page for the people that are not there yet, what kind
Mm-hmm.
of resources do you give them? Is it a
Yeah, so you
video?
can
Is it a
provide them.
links? Is it
Yeah,
like how do you communicate with them?
100%.
Because
So
they might
she'll
be a
have
customer.
blogs.
They might be a customer at some point.
Some point for sure.
Right.
You don't want to abandon them, kick them to the curb, um, because you've already created resources for them. You want to manufacture them into your own client eventually, because they know who you are, like, and trust them. But what you don't want to do is get them upset, waste your time, waste their time when you can't help them yet. But that's where you have your content. So you send to them content that makes sense. We have another client that's in the travel space where the content we delivered for them based on the end screen of a successful was the product that most aligned with what they wanted. So we ask, which type of event are you interested in? If they said tennis, here's the information for tennis. If they said golf, here's the information for golf. Like, we have, based off of what you told us, we are giving you the most relevant information. That's the truth. Relevancy matters. Providing the algorithm that you're giving money to is quintessential. Like, people that focus, I mean, we talk about the MPIs, you're focusing on in-app metrics, cost per lead. Like, that's dumb. Like, you have to bring in relevance quality of sales information into your marketing strategy. And if you ignore that, you are going to compound mediocrity and bad leads into your marketing budget, which is going to cost you so much in the long run that you'll see that you have to backtrack. Like, it hurts. So it's relevant information. You provide them videos, provide them content. You can add them to your email subscriber list, but you do not put them in your CRM. Send them to your YouTube channel. Provide them the podcast link if they want to learn more stuff, and then give them, hey, when you're ready, you can start communicating based off of your answers. We're not a good fit for you at the moment. However, when you do X, we'd love to get back in touch. Here are resources that can help you get there.
This is counterintuitive thinking. I'm just going to tell you that. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, yeah, I just want the volume. Lauren, that's great. I'm not big enough to start thinking this way. And, I don't have the volume for it. Well, okay. So consider yourself unlucky and somewhat ignorant. I'm sorry. There's just a lot of
stupid. It's a lie. You're lying to yourself.
Based upon what I've seen the last couple of months in the political scene, there's a lot of stupid people out there. So, this is wake up. You don't want the wrong customer to be in your CRM. You don't. If they are not going to help you now, get them on your socials. That's fine.
Yes.
They're engaging. Stop worrying about the size of your list. The size of your list doesn't matter.
No.
Size of it's a misnomer. It's a vanity metric. It's not an MPI. It's not a business metric that actually moves your business. I have a customer with a 3 million person list. I'm like, how many are engaged? How many are actually interested in your stuff? I asked them this yesterday. They didn't know. That this is a whole other,
how many are qualified?
How many are qualified? Are you constantly subcategorizing your list based upon how much they buy from you? How many times they've bought from you? What's the average value of that, the sub-segmentation? This is not something that you do when you're successful and you've got things moving. You do this early on and set the precedent moving forward. You have to limit who comes into your world to a certain degree in order to move your business forward, which is counterintuitive, which is the reason why low cost of leads is total bullshit. It's it doesn't matter what the cost of the lead is. What matters is the cost to acquire a customer.
Yes.
And the cost to specifically NCAC. And if you haven't downloaded our MPIs and you don't think they're important, well, get on over to perpetualtraffic.com/MPI and download the damn form, because this is what's wrong with digital marketing right now. Sorry to get on my soapbox, but it's I guess, my goal in the next couple of years is is to eliminate the ignorance that's been created through this industry. And this is just one of those things, and you get it. And we've implemented this because we felt like we got lazy about this. This is easy to not do because you're it's not really that important. You know what? It actually is important. And it starts with that question: who's the perfect person that I want to work with? And then you sort of do a gradient from there, and then you stratify these people out. And I don't care whether it's through a lead form like we're talking about right here, whether it's through a landing page, whether it's through your list. And you can do this. And every business this applies to. And
e-commerce, it especially applies to.
Especially.
And you e-commerce brands, you're ignoring this because you have, if you sell products to a specific customer and who's not going to buy yours because they're going for a competitor specifically. I think of Aaron, he has Hush blankets. He has a very expensive blanket product. And there are people that wanted a cheaper version. He's I'm not interested in someone who wants the cheap knockoff of this blanket. I want someone who wants quality made
Right.
with good,
No, Lauren.
like
That's another contact. I
resources.
want a big list, right?
No, yeah.
You don't want a
You can
big list.
you can grow to a big list. So, Ralph, this is the thing that's like, okay,
Right.
if we go to counter, sorry, I'm like, you're like soapbox. I'm like, I am. Again, I used so much profanity yesterday because like I audit hundreds of accounts a year, and I'm telling you, 90%, and these are accounts that aren't doing small things.
Yeah.
These are big accounts. We look at small accounts too, but like this is not being implemented. Like I find this to be so foundational. Like
So
you don't
funny.
want to start with a massive list because it hurts you. You're competing against all the other things they've signed up for.
Yep.
You don't want everyone. If you're talking to everyone, no one's listening.
Not to
So when
mention
you
you're
have,
paying for all those people.
oh my, especially e-commerce. Like if you're
Yeah.
using Klaviyo, you are
You are
paying for
paying
list
for
size.
them. If you're
So
using
why?
Wicked
Why?
Reports or whatever, you're paying for them.
So frustrating. So if you're an e-commerce brand, like know who you want, don't let them into your system. And the reason why you should start doing this now, if you're a new business owner or if you have a small list and you're like, this doesn't apply to me, like, oh my God, you're in the best position because you don't have to unlearn and more importantly, untrain your algorithm because it costs so much more money to untrain than it if you're starting from scratch. So like some brands, like 9-figure brands, will actually create new pixels to start over because their
Yeah.
customer journey has
We've
evolved when they've taken leaps and bounds into the next tier of sales.
right.
But like if you're an e-commerce brand, like set the tone first or any type of brand because you can then scale when you have quality leads in your CRM, then you can scale for more of what you want, not more of more because more of more means you're just getting more leads and leads are horseshit. So stop.
Don't you
Sorry,
feel
that was
better
aggressive.
now that we've stood up on both of our soapboxes here? It's like I just want to shake the digital marketing world sometimes and just get them off these old stupid things that used to be like everyone's like, oh well, the power's in the list. No, the
Yeah.
power isn't in the list. Like, you know what's in the list? Lack of power if it's the wrong customer. I would far rather have a list of 1,000 buyers than I would have 1,000,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you want to shoot fish in a barrel, not hunt in Lake Michigan.
Right. Right. I mean, I want buyers, not leads. Like that's a whole other thing. But I mean, this is the first step towards creating those buyers,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
It's about new
And you
customer
can
acquisition.
manufacture them to be your ideal client later. You can, when you close them, especially with instant forms, you're just telling Meta, don't find me more of these people, but they found you. So you're setting them up for success to
Let's
be what you need to be.
let's end with that because I know we have a short episode here. This is a highly tactical episode, which hopefully we're shaking down the trees here a little bit. Just remind people like why that works. So the Facebook and Google algorithm, you go on Facebook, I'll go on Google. Tell me why that's important. Why is it important to identify the leads and only put the pixel on the landing page for the people that you actually want? What does that do?
It tells Meta what is quality because if you're only if you're saying, I want a lead and you don't distinguish what is quality, then you're just going to get a bunch of leads.
Yep. Yep. That's it. That is it. And on the Google side, this can be done on both platforms. And we're just going to use the two biggest ones. But remember, Google we intercepted an internal memo. If you haven't heard this before, they have 72 million data points, demographic and psychographic factors on every human on the planet. 72 million. So if you give Google the right information, they will eventually find your right customer. So personal injury example here, which is a great one. We don't want slip and falls. We don't want workman's comp. Don't put the pixel on those people. What I want is the car accident people because Google knows when you're driving, how fast you drive, if you went to a bar and then you drove after, if you went to the liquor store, if you drive recklessly, if you have a series of accidents in the past based upon your search history, if you are you have the propensity to sue someone because they know exactly what you've done in the past. They have everything. They understand exactly, like they read all your emails. They're in your Google Drive. They're looking at everything that you're searching.
Your
Like
calendar.
your calendar. They know all these things. They know who the people are who you're trying to find. All you need to do is give Google the signal that this is the person I want to find. I want to find the person that drives recklessly because they own Waze and they own Google Maps. I'm just going to use that as an example, just for personal injury
Great
law,
example.
for car accident attorney. All right. Like those are the people that you want. You want to focus in on them, not the people that are litigious, but have a history of workman's comp or unemployment or whatever it is, or, like there's a gazillion different factors. And I don't want to insult anyone here, but we probably are, just by telling the world that I think there's a lot of people that are stupid out there because they just forget this sort of thing that, you have to leverage these algorithms. At last count, Meta has 55,000 plus data points on every user. Right? It's a walled system. Google is the internet. All right. And they got 72 million. They're both equally smart. Like Facebook knows stuff that I don't even know. Like you and I know Meta people extremely well, but like the Meta algorithm is absolutely unbelievable. It knows
did you
so
know that
much
they
about
used to
users.
be able to tell you how likely your relationship was going to last? Like this was in 2015. They predicted the divorce rates and the breakups, the uncouplings, because of posts and interactions with your significant other's stuff. And it was so well done that they removed anything about it.
I know. Unfortunately, Zuckerberg was the one who, caught all the arrows in the back by going in front of Congress. Of course, there's the story of the woman who found out that she was pregnant before she was actually pregnant based upon her Google searches. So there's that one. We'll leave links in the show notes on that one. So anyway, today's episode, highly tactical. Lauren, this has been amazing. A lot of fun. And hopefully we didn't insult our entire audience here, but you know what? Screw it. Like sometimes people need just like a good shaking. Even you're in front of a group of like multi-millionaire founders and they were like, what? So that tells me there's a lot of people out there that don't get this, but it's the way to think counterintuitively. You don't want the people that it can't sell to. You want the people that you can sell to and that you can eventually sell to them and improve their lives in some way, shape, or form. Scummy products, affiliate, crappy offers set aside. Hopefully those people aren't listening to today's show. Hopefully you have a product.
Well, if you are, like, you can still change your ways.
I know. You can change your ways. You can come over to our side.
It takes 4 minutes if you do it for Meta. It takes longer to do it when you create the landing pages. But there are bouncers that exist for a reason. You don't want people in the club that are going to come in with weapons and cause a disturbance. You want people in the club that are going to attract individuals that are going to spend a lot more money. So you bring in, forgive me for saying this, but beautiful women. And then the beautiful women are like, oh, I'm going to drink these bottles for free. And then these men or women with money are like, oh, I'm going to supply more for these amazing humans to dance and have a good time. Like bouncers exist. It's a career. Who is the bouncer to your CRM? Your CRM is your club.
Love it. I think that's the episode title right there. I'm going to write that one down.
Well, definitely I wouldn't say dock blocking leads into your CRM because that's what I kept. Like I opened within like 2 minutes. I'm like, look, this is how you get rid of dumpster shit, trash leads, and you can dock block them into your CRM. I didn't say dock block. I'm just being mindful of. I've already cursed a lot. Don't want to ruin Apple's
great. No wonder you won. This is awesome. All right. Well, make sure you subscribe and leave a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. Of course, if you haven't downloaded our MPIs, my God, you just need to go over to perpetualtraffic.com/MPI. You can also get it at tier11.com/MPI. And that's it. Join our Telegram group if you'd like. We'll leave links in the show notes for that. All resources and show notes we will provide over at perpetualtraffic.com. And I was looking back. Yes, we have had John Jantz, the writer of Duct Tape Marketing, on the podcast. It was only like 50 episodes ago. So Anyway, we'll leave
that
links
was
to
the
that.
pre-Lauren era.
That was the pre-Lauren
It was
era.
like
That was way before
BL.
you. That's why you didn't know. Yeah, it was me and the guy
before
with the
Petrullo.
long, greasy hair. That's supposed to be you and the blonde, fluffy hair. So on behalf of my awesome co-host, Lauren Petrullo.
Ciao.
Till next show, see ya.